Well, those are nice pictures you have.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll say nay.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll say nay. It's approved.
Had conservation Wednesday night. He just went through what he was kind of wanting for budget items this year. There are any numbers, of course, or nothing, but he was just telling us his priorities, so. And things like that. Other than that, it was pretty uneventful.
Yeah, I didn't have anything. I just have that. If we get done in time, I may zoom in on the meeting up at Eldora today.
Didn't want to make the drive.
No, well, I thought I'd better be here the next couple of weeks, so.
Couldn't have stayed up there last night.
Yeah, I probably could have. I was that close, but they're basically just going through hiring a new director and setting up committees for that and stuff like that. So,
Boy, sure, you guys notice if he doesn't go up there when the weather's not bad, he can't golf and must be.
Yeah, I know. In the summer, he's really.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Eldora, you know.
but that's all I had for the week.
I didn't really have anything. The only thing I forgot to ask you about, Brandy, was this new budgeting idea, but we're gonna talk about that later, the new system with itself. What you plan to do there, but that sounds really good. So, yeah.
We'd like them in the waiver.
Well, yeah.
I like our U-shaped system. Yeah. I didn't have anything really at all. So, no, it's fine. I really didn't have anything either. Dylan's gonna come up. He said he won't have his report written out because I didn't have much. And I go, well, make sure you stop anyhow.
Okay.
And everybody knows about our longtime county attorney passing away. Be greatly missed.
Mhm.
Guess we can go down to the other stuff.
Let's see, I gotta check if you guys got this email.
Mhm.
Winona?
No, no, was there one from her?
Yeah, we did get one.
You can-
Hotel motel allocation to Pioneer Cemetery consideration. I talked to you last week about that, putting $2,000 to them to finish the sign project for Pioneer cemeteries.
If we have it, that's,
We have to, do we have to do a budget, new line item and all that, Brandy, for this? Probably not. Okay,
I'll copy this one I get.
so it won't be a big to do.
So you just need a motion. I'll make a motion to allow the hotel motel fund allocation to the Pioneer Cemetery.
I'll second.
About $2,000.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Hi,
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. 911 Tower, 8th Avenue, Middlesbrough, lease discussion consideration.
Did you get an answer back on that?
well, we got something.
I thought we were asking Josh and,
There's still snafu on this, isn't there? Consider, Josh is consider problems are part of it. Can't get the word out.
What's
Concerns.
Yeah, I'm looking for that. Where did that come from?
So,
Probably from me.
so are we waiting for attorneys to get through with this? Is it back to me?
Well, we don't need to enter a new one anyways, is what he said. They assume our lease, so don't need to enter a new one.
Well, so we don't need to do anything.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't,
yeah, it sounds like a good deal that we lucked out on.
Okay, so
okay, so no action?
no action. Anything for next week? All
I
righty.
can't think of anything.
Did you guys get an email from this Lifeline screening?
No.
So it's basically, my name is Amanda, I lead a partnership for Lifeline Screening. A county partnership brings preventive health screenings directly to your county. Probably something we're not probably interested in, is it?
Forward it to me, but I doubt it.
It's a county-sponsored program we provide to set comprehensive screenings to county employees and residents, helping identify risk factors for stroke, cardiovascular, and chronic conditions before they become serious or not. She asked if I'd be available for a brief call so she can introduce it to us.
I think it's better to encourage them to see their regular physician instead, but
Well, I've been getting multiple calls this week about, last couple weeks about cell towers, about zoning and stuff, to update them.
Well, I'll just see if she contacts me again. If she does,
We don't do
maybe.
anything with updates. So I checked with the assessor's office and, yeah, I don't know how many people call, it must be it's a season update antennas. I think four or five different companies have had now.
interesting.
If she calls again, maybe I'll entertain her with a call, but, I mean, if it's something you have to pay for or something.
Yeah, I doubt, yeah.
I mean, I think we looked, we even got some employees that don't even go for their annual free physicals.
Yeah.
Is that the email all the time? You ever heard one?
Have I
Hold
ever
on,
had
this is my kid's yawn.
But
Should we take a recess?
go on recess.
Yeah, go recess.
Eric, what do you need? You're calling me. Is it your
Should I pass it down or pass it around?
Either way, take one down, pass it around.
Here's another one.
All right, first thing I have is we have a funding agreement here with the DOT for project BROS CO 48 108 8J 48. This is for a bridge next year on W Avenue, and the funding agreement is for $650,000. We have two on W Avenue next year, north and south of 200, I believe.
Which part of, I mean, what part of the county is that?
It's on the far east side, right north of the interstate.
Okay.
There's two. There's a dead end, one on a dead end, and then if you go a mile north, there's a pony truss. But this is just for one of them.
Is there a motion for the chair to sign? I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved.
And then I figured I would let you guys sign these. This is so that the DOT is planning on this first one. The DOT is planning on doing work on Highway 6 just north of Victor. So they have a proposed detour coming down there, 21, going on to 80, coming back up on Victor and taking Old 6 over. I think the site of work is right here. They're planning on doing that work in the summer of 2029.
Wow.
Good.
So that's that they can detour on our roads.
Thank you. Okay, so they have to ask?
If they're gonna detour onto our roads, yeah,
What is it? Can't say no.
I wouldn't.
It's been said.
Hey, you know, this is just for Highway 6. If it were the DOT, the interstate, then I think that there would be
State highway.
payments, compensation. This, usually I would just sign off on things like this, but I wanted to bring you guys into the loop. That way, when Victor, the city of Victor calls and says, you know, all this extra traffic is going around, or they're going through Victor and not on the interstate, you guys are aware of it.
Locals will probably just use Old 6 anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're local, you're just gonna do whatever. It's the people coming.
You know how long that detour will be for?
No, they just gave the whole summer.
April to November.
It's probably in the area of 4 months. They probably don't know when it'll start.
What are they doing, resurfacing or something?
No, I think they're working on that box culvert or a bridge.
Oh, the bridge.
Yeah.
Is there a motion for the chair to sign?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Right.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Are you the county representative or am I?
I want to make you it.
Just seems so much.
All right. Now, I mean,
Yes.
and then so here's the same thing, but this will be for next year, and then this will be closer to right off the TN. Is that Wendler Construction?
Yeah.
By the train. So this is, they're gonna do something similar next year.
We're gonna detour that then.
They're gonna go down V77 to the interstate and back up 151. So V77 will get more. Hmm?
I know somebody who lives on that road.
There's two.
What's that?
Yes, why we didn't make a motion to do them together.
I apologize.
There's a more, this is it though, right?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
And that's what year, next year?
Yeah,
26 or 27?
maybe it's 27, I'm sorry.
27.
Sorry about that, 27.
That's like right ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Is there a motion for the chair to sign this one?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those say nay. Motion approved.
Will you send me a copy of those?
I have them in PDF,
Yeah.
or would you rather, you may
I
sign
already
this?
did the McKinsey auction. I think it's GPS.
Yeah, I just want to
Yeah.
put specific.
Stuff. It's a mess.
Okay, last thing I got is I got a call from the landfill last week. Apparently when they have an excavator go down, they pay to have it hauled up to Cedar Rapids to get worked on. And I don't know, somebody on their board or something said, well, why don't you pay secondary roads to haul it? That way the money stays, in the county system. I said, I'll find out what I can and let you guys make the choice. So I've emailed McMean's office and they did come back with what I thought we can haul it. Secondary roads, you can usually not do work outside of secondary roads. And what we can if we get reimbursed for our time and equipment, whatever. So yes, landfill can pay us. The only other question I had was from ICAP, who's responsible, insurance if something goes awry. Their response was, in case there is an accident, it would be the county that is a contractor doing work for the landfill. So the county's coverage would be on the auto liability exposure. And if their excavator was damaged because of something the county did, it would be a GL loss for the county. Hard to read, that's why I read it out loud.
Do they get stuff hauled away a lot?
I think this once a year, once every other year.
Is there an issue for you guys?
No, I mean, we could haul it up and back and charge time, if that's what you guys want. I mean, they're gonna pay somebody
Be nice to put it from one pocket to our pocket and send somebody else's.
if that's what you want. I mean, it's not,
More things.
That's weird about liability.
We're insured.
so, and I can, you guys can, review. So they already got it hauled up there this time.
Right.
I told them I'd kind of probably have an answer for them today, but if you guys want to, table it this time or something. Those are the responses I got. So, you can read my questions and their responses and see what you think.
What do you don't have a problem with it?
I mean, if
Or the
it's
guy.
once a year, I don't have a problem. It's not gonna, I don't know. It might benefit them a little bit, I might give them a little bit of a price cut. It would depend on the time of year, I suppose. Like right now, if we're not, today, probably not a good day. Yesterday would have been an okay day. So. We can evaluate when each time, but the question is, do we want to? And I want to make you guys aware, because if we do it and then something happens and got to pay the insurance, I wanted you guys to be aware of that and not go, what the heck were you doing?
Chris?
I have no problem with it.
Don?
I don't have a problem with it.
Abby?
I'm indifferent, but
I don't have a problem with it, as long as it's okay with it and the guys are okay with it.
Which would be time,
Yeah.
varies each time.
I was gonna say, I mean, at your discretion, I guess, if they can wait, you know what I mean, if it's today and they have to have it hauled, I mean, obviously that's not gonna work.
Right.
Since this is something different, I'd like to have a motion, so it's on record.
I'll make a motion to allow county to haul the landfill's excavator to Cedar Rapids.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved.
Okay. And you guys, yeah, you can keep those emails or read through it or whatever.
You don't need this back?
I printed it off for you guys.
Okay.
I'll make a note in my file that has those in today's meeting minutes or link to the video. So if you ever question it in the future. The bridge on D Avenue is done. I still have to get out there and do the initial inspection, but yeah, it's open. Our guys have been dealing with snow, lots of snow, pushing back snow, a lot of stuff.
Did you
I
see that
did-
email that we got about, what a good job they've been doing?
Yeah,
I discussed it last week too.
yeah, that was nice.
Hope that gets passed on.
Yep. We'll have some sort of safety meeting next week or something, and I'll share that with the guys I haven't seen. So also so our snow policy right now says that we run from a couple hours before dawn to dusk. Well, right now dusk, sunset, 5:08. And the storm was just picking up steam last night at 5:08. So I want to make sure that, we definitely don't want to get into an accident after our ordinance says we shouldn't be out, because we will be on the hook for, a lot of money, probably. I don't know if we should amend that ordinance to say the dusk or 6 p.m., whichever is later.
Because it just keeps moving.
It does keep moving. So, and I've kind of treated it before almost like they do for hunting. Like you get a half hour after dusk, right? Because you can still kind of see. And dusk, I think, is on there because it's a flexible term. They don't have this. It's more flexible than sunset. But I know that our guys would have, liked to have stayed out until 6 last night. I gave them a half hour after sunset, and they're like, we could get a lot more done in the next 20 minutes because it's still snowing. I said, well, you got to come in this time. In February, it's not necessarily a problem because sunset's a little bit later at that point. We can keep rolling. But just something that maybe we change it to a half hour after dusk or till 6, whichever is later. Think about it. I just know that last night, you probably don't want us pulling off at 5.
I like the 6 or late, late dusk is,
Whichever's later.
yeah.
Dusk or 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
So
so
that-
that's gonna get most of your commuters home, at least.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And so that though is in our ordinance, so we might have to amend it. Which,
That's something we pass every year, isn't it?
no,
Or is it a harder set one?
this is an ordinance, so that is, the 3 readings or whatever. I know that we changed it like 6, 7 years ago to kind of do a little bit better. I think we changed it to 4 a.m., outside of extreme conditions, 4 a.m. Or the other thing I can do is if early times like this, if the storm's coming in, there is a spot that says there are emergency services, and it defines that as what the sheriff recommends. I could communicate with the sheriff, like, hey, this storm is rolling in at a wrong time. Do you run us?
How do other counties handle it?
We can get some of their information too. And our snow ordinance is probably mostly, it was done a long time ago, probably written by tailors, and probably copied and pasted for most counties. It's probably 90% similar. If I had to take a guess. But if we want to change it till, dusk or 6, whichever is later, we should probably hop on making that sort of amendment and get it scheduled, get it going.
I don't see a problem doing that.
I don't see a problem.
So, we gotta publish that in the paper then, right?
Yeah, we'll have to put on next week's agenda first and then get that started that way, I think.
Yeah, next week's agenda to set the schedule.
Yeah,
Public hearings.
yeah.
And we got more, we've been mixing salt and sand in our spare time and we got more coming. Yesterday, we did not make it over to Des Moines, but our office, the Asphalt Paving Association did give us the Engineer of the Year award. I don't know if that's just for the east half or the whole thing, so we didn't make it over there, but we were recognized. So that's good stuff.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Is that because you guys do such a good job with asphalt or?
yeah, I believe, Pelling is a big player.
Yeah,
And I think that Pelling really does, like our plans and how we do things and everything like that. So,
Mhm.
so I think they get a say on, who helps get it, but, I know that they've said that quite a bit, is that they like how we do it. Sorry.
look for price.
Well, I should have stopped by for you. I went right by there.
What's that?
I went right by Des Moines.
Des Moines yesterday?
Yeah, my uncle was at the Asphalt Association meeting, so I got his tickets to the Iowa State game.
Oh.
I did notice you didn't wear your Hawkeye shirt today.
Yeah, I did.
Hey, they played
They played a great game.
Yeah, they're a little bit better than I would have guessed. So that's good.
I don't want to bring it up, but Cyhawk series is 15-2.
You just keep them chickens counted this year, buddy boy.
You got to count it while you got it.
That's right. Year 26 is coming up, so.
All right. The first picture there, I thought was kind of fun. That's from 1930 over the Iowa River here, just north of town.
Can you imagine how that was built, how difficult that would have been back then?
Yeah, it would have been different. Okay, so if we kind of go to page 2 here, this is something that is that we go through every year, but we have about 35 employees, give or take, 10 motor grader districts, 10 snow routes. And on the left there are some stats, 130 miles of paved roads and somewhere plus or minus 180 bridges. And then what you see there on the map is the motor grader districts.
Also, number of bridges, is that what I think is a bridge or what you classify as a bridge?
That's what I classify as over 20 feet. So that's gone down since I've been here. We've taken probably 20-foot bridges and made them into box culverts, yeah, that are less than 20 feet. Yeah, we have probably that same amount that are, under 20 feet, but over 6 feet. We go to the next page. This is kind of funding, where the money comes from, just to retouch on everything. So I have 4 or 5 piggy banks that we deal with, is how I like to put it. If you want to start from the top, we get FM money for FM roads. The bridge, second one there is bridge money, and then money from the STIP, which would be kind of local. It's federal money, but dispersed locally. Each one of those has guidelines on where you can spend that money. The TIF, that's another piggy bank, and that is almost done. We have one more project for there. And then local funds, which is essentially what we get from you guys and a few other places there, road use tax, but that goes to pay for everything else. And that's the part that we'll kind of touch a little bit of base on later, but that pays for salaries, gravel for the roads, new equipment. I mean, it pays for anything that we want it to. And we'll go real quick through some of these. These are construction funds, essentially. So our FM money, how we spend that. is, this year, 6 months ago, back in July, we had a fund balance of negative 1.5 million. We get 1.5 million a year, roughly. And so this year, we're gonna spend, on this road down that you can see at the bottom, highlighted in red, that's gonna be half TIF money and half, 1.5 million of TIF and $1 million of our FM fund that makes up the rest of that balance. So 1 million will come out of the FM, and then we use 650,000 for FM gravel. And that'll leave us at essentially the same balance that we have today. But that'll be our TIF FM project that we'll be doing this next summer. We go to the next page. The pictures there, that was the one down, that was the Wolfman Bridge, but it's a nice picture, so I kept it in. Our bridge funds, we ended that fiscal year, which is in October, with 2 million. We get 800,000 a year. And this year we have those two bridges, both on W Avenue, for a total of 1.3 million. So we'll have an ending balance of 1.6. So what this says is we can continue to build 2 of these nice bridges, big concrete ones, every year for the foreseeable future. And then the next page kind of gives a quick summary of the TIF funds that we've done. Those are some of the projects that we've done, and we have one project left, which is that paving Millersburg East, and that'll be this next summer. But just to touch base real quick, those funds are super nice. We did 2 bridges on H Avenue, a bridge on 190th a few years ago. This one that we just did on D, that is a concrete bridge through the DOT, that one was paid for by TIF. We did the rest of H Avenue this last summer and paved the St. John's Road up to that cemetery. So these funds have been real nice. Got a lot of good projects done with them. Our local funds that we can kind of use for whatever, last winter, we did the culvert extensions on B77. So if you remember, you take B77, that guardrail was real tight to the road and it was kind of always sloughing off. Well, we extended each side out, and then we were able to move that cable guardrail back 10, 12 feet. So a lot more room for snow plows and everything else, and now you don't have to slow down when you meet a car on that section. I think it looks really nice, and our guys really like it. And then this bridge that you see here is M1912. That's what we did, the one that we finished up around Labor Day. As you can see, we take a whole bridge like that, we put in a big box culvert, and from the road, you don't even know that there's anything down there. So to do that costs about 155,000, right? Well, that's total all-in cost. We pay 100,000 for that box culvert, and that other 55,000 is our guys. It's their labor and our equipment. So we were going to spend that anyway. That's already a sunken cost for the county. So, but you do have to include it in new construction. But to do something like this, we only need $100,000 or $110,000 to do that. And then we have another bridge that we're doing this winter/spring on T or R. I think it might be R Avenue.
Where's this one picture at?
Which one?
Where's that one at?
That's the one that is up, you go up north, go Married Road, and then it's, up by Sayers. It's 108th, 107th,
Okay.
right off of I.
That's the same picture.
That's the same location, yep. Yep, that's the old bridge down below and what it looks like now.
That's outstanding.
And Nick, what's the capacity of that new tube?
I mean, it's fully legal. It's fully legal, so I don't.
I was just curious.
Um,
'Cause that was an embargo bridge.
It was.
Okay.
It was like 10 ton maybe, or 15 ton. I forget, but yeah, no, this is fully legal and really wide.
So that was
So,
great.
I don't know if the capacity on it's 55, 60 ton. And it's, you know, you're only getting one axle on it at a time, and it's buried 4 feet, so that distribute, like, it's a lot. You can take the biggest thing over it you want. And so right now, also the exciting part for us is we are waiting maybe for some possible grants. Our future, not this next summer, but the future after that, the summer after that, is really riding on these. So one of them is to straighten out the F46 and T Avenue curves. We would straighten out about a half a mile there. So we hope that that comes through. And then if we can get the final south 2 miles of W21.
You've heard more on that?
No, we're just waiting. But I mean, last I knew it was, going to be looked at in the spring, I think. So
What would F46 and T Avenue be then? Just slighter curves and
yeah.
more of an angle? So it's not like,
Yeah, so right now, the curves, the reverse curves, each curve has a radius of like 350 feet. And the DOT says if you want to maintain like a 50 mile an hour speed limit, you should have a curve radius of 900 feet. That would be similar to the one, no, I didn't do that. They say 900 feet. Well, I'm hoping that ours will be about 1,300. So you shouldn't even be able to, you shouldn't slow down at all. You keep trucking the whole way. But right now, you got to slow down quite a bit.
mhm.
Just kind of our plan here. We got everything kind of done we wanted to this year. We only built 2 bridges in-house, not 3, just because money's a little short. But just to kind of give you an idea, and maybe, I don't think I have it on any other page, but for the future, if this next summer is set with F52 trail, gravel, 2 bridges, and I do have 2 bridges that we might do in-house. We'll watch the money. But then if we get those, the plan would be if we get those grants, then the following summer we do that. And then we could also, and I'll hit on this later, but then I would really like to do the rest of that IWV and get that up to par. So we did a culvert extension on V77. IWV has 2 of them that come up really close to the road. We could extend those out, fix the other curve, and then repave it. That road would look brand new. And then at some point in the future, I was talking to Johnson County last week at the engineers meeting. We'll probably do that Iowa Johnson Road that heads down to Wellman. And the reason that being, we split that with them, and that would be a good investment in ourselves because we spend $50,000 to $100,000 every year to patch that road. So if we can get that redone and Johnson County pays for half, that'll be good investment in ourselves. We'll save that money then. But that'll have to wait. Well, that'll have to depend on how these grants go. The next page there is just kind of our summary. Currently, we have $5 million in the bank. Last year, we had a net gain of about $500,000. This year, we're on schedule to lose about $1 million. I think, that'll come closer to zero. And then next year, it's just like every year, we show that we'll be negative. The only difference for next year in some of our stuff is depending on those grants, we no longer at this point have an assistant who's specialized in road design. So it may cost us a couple $100,000 to get W21 designed. And then you might be looking at like $50,000 in right away. Road maintenance, gravel goes up and everything else, but and then general equipment will be lower for next year because we spent our money this year on the new equipment, kind of borrowed ahead. So this next page shows, page 11 shows local funds versus inflation. And I've showed this in the past, but since I started in 2014, inflation has gone up about 60%, give or take. And the gray there is what we kind of get from the state. And you can see they've made some big jumps for the gas tax and COVID, and they've done a good job of keeping up with some of that inflation. The money we get from the local option sales tax and property tax receipts from you guys has essentially stayed the same over the past 13 years. The local option sales tax money is actually from 2014 or 15 has gone down. And I'm not saying we got to make up that full amount, but I would put this part on the bottom. I thought that somebody at the engineers conference said that the average county, the local effort support, that's what the board gives to secondary roads. It's about 109%. That there's a minimum amount you have to give, okay, based on taxes, which is 75%. So don't worry about what they actually kind of mean, but the average is 109. And without TIF money, we will be around 102. So if we want to be average to get up to 109, that would mean that you guys probably, that the engineer's office would need an extra 220,000.
Isn't the TIF money local money anyways?
It does count for that, yes. So
And
like
what percent would it be with TIF?
last year we were 135. Yeah, but without that,
So that is local money.
that is local money, and so that will count. Yeah.
So taking that out, I don't think is very fair.
Well, when this TIF money runs out, that's where we're going to be. And no, I think that the TIF is extraordinary for us. It's awesome. The downside is that it only can go towards projects, and we will, and it's not our big road projects that I fear for in the future. It's our little stuff that isn't covered by FM or bridge funds.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show some of that here on the next couple slides. But that's the stuff. I think our road situation is going to be pretty good. And our bridges on paved roads are pretty good. It's those little buggers that I fear for coming up. So if we were to have the, it'll be 2 pages away, but I'll show you what we can do with that. And then the next page where we have those maps, over the last 12 years, we've touched a lot of the county, and I think it's a pretty cool map to show all the little stuff that we've done there. But where I fear is on the next page is with 125, we can really, or even 100, anything really. We can do a lot of this stuff in-house, and in-house, I think, you know, saves a lot of money. It does really good. We got that HA 1700, that's a 10-ton that we can put in with a box cover. Our guys can do that. That G5032, 15-ton, then another box cover. The 24-ton on the bottom, we can put in a bridge there. And we could do this one of two ways. Either the local effort money, that tax revenue to us would go up, or if you do the TIF stuff in the future, that we open it up to the whole county. That's another option. And we can just start nailing out some of these projects. And I just want to show you this because like our guys can do a lot of this, and we got 6 to 8 bridges that we could just line up and go to town, or even these culvert extensions on the next page, where if we get that out of there and we redo those curves and pave that road, I mean, that road is going to look a lot better over to Johnson County. Or any of our budgets that I really think that that our guys can do, and they do a great job of making these. And then the other thing that kind of scared, you know, this, if we go to the next page, where it says our guys can build these, page 15, I got 5 or 6 of these field entrances that, you know, that are going to need attention. So I have 10 projects here that our guys can do, and just no way to pay for them. So I think with some money, they can keep hammering stuff out, and it's a lot cheaper for them to do it than to hire it out. Or in some of these cases, we don't have the money, we would have to close stuff, and we haven't really done that, and I don't want to start that. So it's these little projects that that we can do with our guys that I want to continue to keep doing, and I think they do a phenomenal job, and it saves you guys money, and that's the key that I want to continue on with these and not give these up. So yeah, there's there's 10 things our guys can really hammer out, and they do a great job for you. The next page just kind of shows. I wish I would have picked different colors for the printer here. But where our bridge projects are for next summer and the following summer, some that are done. And then the light blue are the little spots that, you know, I just threw those on there. Those are the bridges that our guys can do. If we have the money, they can just hammer them out. But also that way you guys know where everything's at in the county.
It's just nice that they're spread out. We're not favoring one area over another area.
Yeah. Just real quick with the Amanas, we have 1.2 million in that account, but we still do need to pay for that grinding we did on G Street. And then I'm looking into next year, we might seal coat, maybe middle Amana. Then I threw in some pictures here. I know that these, our guys don't get enough credit always, but they're really handy. This first page is the extensions that they did on, we hired out half of the work to do this, and then our guys did the other half, putting in the wing walls and most of the grading. That's what that looks like. This next page, that was the M1912 up on 107th. So that's what it looks like when the crane is there or when we're in a total mess. And then this last one is a project we did this spring up on 150th Street. You know, I kind of like those pictures. They show how big that box is compared to the actual people.
That's kind of crazy.
But our guys do a real good job. They've done so many of these, we don't even need to show up. They just know what to do. So that was kind of the quick version, and I do like to ask, what's the vision that you guys have for us? What can we do better? What have we done well? What do you want to see keep happening?
Well, you guys are doing a great job on those bridges and culverts, that's a great point of emphasis that you've done a nice job of, targeting those smaller bridges and putting box culverts in for them. So.
And just general road maintenance, we hear it all the time as supervisors, like going from another county to ours, it's night and day difference, so.
With the snow and
With snow
stuff?
and just gravel
Yeah,
roads,
Oh,
yeah,
gravel too?
yeah.
Yeah, I know our guys, they take great pride in their snow, and they're always out there. So I've heard a lot of the good stuff about snow.
I talked to a few of them about the in-house bridge culverts and stuff, and it seems like they really enjoy doing that, like their sense of accomplishment when they get done, knowing that it's gonna be there for years and years and years, and they worked on it, they put it there. One guy told me that it'd be neat to tell my grandkids, someday that we built this.
Yeah, that is neat.
So when you have FY 27 bridge, is that after July 1st next year?
FY 27. So that's the one you would have just signed.
Right.
I am making the plans now. We will turn the plans in a year from now, and it'll be built in the summer of 27.
Okay. I didn't know how to work exactly with the budgeting.
The two that will be built this upcoming summer, say this summer of 2026. Those are the two that'll be built. Plans are already submitted. What can we do better? What do you want to see us do better on?
Well, I think we're moving in the right direction for the ditches and things like that. Getting the trees and stuff cleared up. I think it's gonna be moving right there. One thing cedar trees, some of these places are just getting overtaken or some of our right of way is just getting hammered by them cedar trees. So that's something you're working on when the snow, we're not pushing snow.
Yep,
So,
you bet. And I think that we're going in the right.
right, I do too, but continue improving on that, so.
But
Yeah, the
Yeah.
machine you use is sure a ditch cleaner, that's for sure.
what's that?
That machine on the skid loader that you cut those trees and stuff in the ditches, it wipes them right out.
Yeah, we got that one. We don't use the one on the backhoe as much. But that thing makes a mess, but we got that one too. And now we're getting our whole spraying system in place. That's gonna be, I said no new equipment. I might still help out our weed guy.
Right.
Check.
That was one of the things you're doing, is keeping our equipment up to date. Because once you fall behind, it's tough to catch up.
Yeah,
I was around for the catching up part earlier.
which is, and this is one of the things I wanted to touch on. Those smaller bridges, those culverts, that stuff, that all comes out of the local money and local money only. So if we want to keep doing a good job there, that's things that the TIF doesn't cover right now. And I'm not trying to look down on the TIF at all. Everything's going good there. But at some point, that stuff keeps going up in price. Motor graders suck to buy. They're really expensive. But yeah, if you guys, and at any point in time, if you're like, hey, we need to do more gravel, or we need to do, if you've got ideas, stuff you'd like to see, bring them to me. Let's talk about them. We like to do throwbacks when we dig out the ditches. We don't do it as much as we should, but then that takes away the hauling prices, you know. We're always experimenting with different blades and everything else. So if you think of anything like that or hear of anything, you know, hey, there's these blades to try, or
Can we still use that one new blade that, with the teeth in it? What do they call that?
sharp blades, kind of. Yeah, some people like those. They're an ice blade. Some people like to use those. I think the new thing right now is we've found some, they're really expensive, but the sharp blades you have to switch out a few times a year. These new ones might be multi-year blades.
Sometimes you use that sharp blade, it look like you re-gravelled the road.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not always the strongest, but yes, those. And then some people are running them, you know, right now to kind of cut up that ice and lean them back the right way. That's what they're made for. So
Everything's ready to get gelled up this weekend.
yeah,
No,
Zero.
Yeah,
really?
yeah, negative, yeah.
Crap.
20-some below, I think.
Sunday?
Sunday.
Oh, great, really?
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know what the deal is for tomorrow. Some say snow's supposed to start at 7, others say 4, and
I have
Just
like
supposed to-
5 or something.
it's just supposed to go all day. So that'll be
Oh, all the snow keeps happening on the weekends.
it's expensive.
Yeah.
There'll be one coming on Christmas, always is, Christmas Eve.
So, and that's the thing too, you know, right? Like gas, and there's a few pages there in the back of just things to consider about how our budget changes dramatically depending on gas prices and or when these snowfall events occur.
When do you get your gas bids? They should be coming up, shouldn't they?
Gas bids are usually the end of January.
Pretty cheap right now, so,
$2.28 at noon.
yeah, so,
Is that what it was?
wish we could. get some-
Well, there'll probably be an option to lock it in for the year. You know. But
So, yeah, the ordinance names they go to the attorney's office, they usually write them up. Yeah, that might be tough this week.
yeah. And you know what, if we gotta publish it 4 to 11 days, and I think you can get by with one reading, I think, can't you?
Nobody can wait to read.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
I'm certain one, yeah. Like the one, today one.
We didn't do it on the other one, yeah.
so yeah, I will, and we're gonna get by just fine. I'm gonna go ahead and say that our definition of dusk is gonna be like hunting, you get a half hour after sunset, so.
And then, nothing on the property we discussed.
No, I just got a call, I think it was middle of last week, he wanted some time to sit on it, he said.
Okay. That's better than no.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think, they must, this time of year, they might be vacation time, maybe? So. I think I could hear the beach in the background.
You sure you weren't there?
What's that?
You sure you weren't there?
Yeah, I wish I would have been.
Well, thanks, Nick. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
Yep, you guys too. If you need anything, just holler.
Hey, Nick, do you bring in engineering interns?
Yeah.
Mentor them and maybe do a little footwork and stuff.
We have before, it's been
I'm shivering over here.
4 or 5 years, but we used to bring in, you know, students from the university. That's been a little while.
I was wondering, how did you get this picture of Kevin? He pointed out that it
We will have
I think
a
we're a woman, though. I think that's a woman.
Not a problem. She's driving.
I think so.
Yep.
Is the woman's name start with an S?
Easy.
Sorry.
Okay, is there a motion to go to public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Right.
Opposed, say nay. We're in public hearing number 2, declaration of EMS as essential service in Iowa County. Is there anything written this week we've received? Anybody from the public that would like to speak today?
I'd like to. Scott Hamlin, and I'm kind of I'm following all this, and I don't know all the history and stuff, but I guess, first of all, do I need to sign in or anything, or, okay, I can do that. I'm just a citizen. Question to Abby. You voted no on the first public hearing. Can I ask you what's your stand?
The public hearing, so you just get it's not a quiz, so you only get a speaker piece.
Okay, no, this is a learning opportunity for me. Okay, I'm just gonna say, I know what the challenges we all have today, and I've looked at numbers and things like that. I also understand the hospital may have an interest in providing, and I do consider this essential service, and am very pleased with what we have today. But if we're struggling to move forward, I just interested to know if we're considering all options to maintain and look going ahead. Then I'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've said pretty much all of them. You've all heard me here, so,
Ditto from last week.
yeah, I did it from last week, but I don't know if anybody else wants,
Anybody else like to speak?
I was thinking about it. But no, I'm good.
Motion to go out of public hearing?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We're out of public hearing. And now I take a roll call vote again.
Deacon?
Aye.
Hutchinson?
Aye.
Moss? Nay. Meyer?
Aye.
Montrose?
Aye. Public hearing number 2 passed. There'll be another public hearing number 3, and the final will be next week. At 10. Okay, thank you.
Scott, the reason, I mean, just the nuts and bolts of why I voted no is I wanted it to be separate resolutions, one declaring it essential. The levy rate, I would vote no on. I would vote yes to declare it essential. I'm just not interested in introducing any new levy rates in the county until we go back and cut out other expenses. So,
Thank you, Abby. No, and that's the kind of nuts and bolts stuff that I'm interested in, is a third party coming in to, watch us go forward and manage, and looking for collaborative opportunities to hang on to what we have. Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, so I didn't turn 15, I just took Dylan to get up here.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for Dylan? Because he's busy pushing snow.
he did a good job coming down, was it Monday?
Yeah, Monday.
Monday.
He came and did a second
Yeah, give us
cleaning of our stuff.
We come in there and park at the garage and normal snowplow gets in front of the ambulance doors, but because of all our cars, so he came down and moved over there. Got all the snow between the cars, cleaned up, salted it really good.
Who does the Williamsburg one?
City.
They do it.
But there's only usually 2 cars there, so it's not quite as bad as the 4th car. More in Maringas. There's just more room, and we're kind of tight for space. No, not him on the back, but he did a good job.
He'd like to hear that.
yeah. Are we?
Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend.
We'll go into recess and go to Dylan gets here at 10:15.
Yes, it is not a good weekend.
So yeah, nothing for you guys. Just the moon and snow is all.
Questions, concerns,
Still waiting on the phone for the elevator. I reached out to TK Elevator today, so they're gonna get back with me. So,
Adam said we're supposed to pat you on the back. You did a nice job of moving the snow for the ambulance people.
oh, that's not what he told me.
When's the state coming to re-inspect that elevator?
I'd imagine here sometime soon. And I don't know if TK Elevator talks with the state and says, hey, you know, it's on order, but it's not in yet.
If it wasn't in, they were gonna shut it down.
Right, right. And I haven't even seen the state inspector, so for me,
We'll just put a walkie-talkie in.
I don't think that's gonna work. But, yeah, they must talk with the state and say, hey, it's gonna be in this day, we're gonna put it in this day. They're just gonna work something out.
You want me to get a hold of, or have you talk to the guy we're talking about, the law library,
So all, what's his
the
name?
judge's library?
Yeah, what was that guy's name? Is it Gorgo?
What's that?
What's that guy's name again?
Oh, Randy.
Randy, Gorgo, right?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I can reach out.
Yeah, you have his number yet?
Yep.
Because I think he mentioned after harvest, didn't he?
Yep.
So it's probably a good time of year to do it right now.
Yeah. He said to give him a call again in the winter.
I just didn't know if your budget's still good enough for that, or
I don't know. I'd have to look at that too. Kind of taking a hit, you know, with the elevator and everything.
if that's been down for a long time. It'd be nice to get it.
Yeah. Get it done. I agree.
Questions, concerns? Everything's working that you haven't broken anything for a while? Guess day's not over. Day's not over.
That's true. Today's still young.
Looks like you'll be pushing snow tomorrow.
Yeah, probably so.
I think you make the big bucks.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Eventually I'll get some new shoes.
Christmas, maybe.
At least you can bring your wife in to help you tomorrow.
What's that?
You can bring your wife in on tomorrow to help you.
I think. She has to work.
Oh,
So.
Okay, any other questions? We'll let Dylan get back to what he's doing.
Thanks, Jill.
Yep. Yep, see you guys.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you guys too.
Stay warm.
Try not to use too much ice.
Will do.
Stay warm.
Mr. Rose, are you here for any certain reason?
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm like 10 minutes late.
Oh.
So they were going out as I was coming in. My son would come up and throw my support. As a couple of you know, wife's got a lot of medical issues, and she's got a hole between her chambers of her heart. And she's having all kinds of doctor's appointments and surgery next Friday, but it was a kind of a push to get here today. But anyway, I'm all for the EMS levy. I mean, it's essential services. What, you know, we need it. And I've been, Monday I had a meeting with Marriott Miller Meeks, and Tuesday was with Dawn and Judd in Williamsburg, and, you know, fire department is also, you know, partying in. So I wanted to throw my support back on that. The guys that's been on the fire department a long time see me go this, well, which has been there, done that, you know, we just keep looking around. But I can remember when we used to have a radio and CBs, and then we got some walkies, and then we got an upgrade, and you couldn't talk from one side of the middle to the other. We put in a Manifier put in their own repeater system, but this is some, you know, so much superior to what we've got. So
Hopefully you won't use it.
do what?
Hopefully you won't get to use it.
Yeah, you know,
Space heater.
I'm to the point that the young guys take in, you know, it's hard to keep their interest. But hey, the truck sitting at the station is good with me. I've got 38 years going on 39, so.
So you're speaking about the radio system?
Correct.
Okay. I don't know if you're talking about the EMS levy or the
Oh,
radio system,
radios, EMS,
because they're two separate things. Yeah.
same thing, are separate things, but yes.
Okay.
Thumbs up for both of them.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too, Steve. Stay out of the ditches.
Do it.
Stay out of the ditches.
Stay on your feet.
I would have been here sooner, but I had to stop and kind of get out of the way for one of our county snow plows, which I appreciate those guys.
See you, Steve.
See you, Steve.
See ya. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Gals.
Are we calling Heidi? Heidi calling us?
We'll call Heidi, I think, probably.
Just go ahead and call her. For a long time.
Coming around this end.
Supposed to.
Good morning, this is Heidi.
Hey Heidi, it's Abby with the rest of the board here. How are you?
Very good. Let me just mute the YouTube I had on here, so. All righty, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Good. Missing caramels.
Yeah, do you need our addresses to send the caramels?
I think I can find that online. So, is the board ready for that, for me on the agenda?
Yep.
Perfect. It's my understanding that the board is looking to move forward with the contract for some radio equipment and towers, and is looking to secure some financing here for those towers. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the process in order to get the funds, so the board knows, the timing of when you'll be able to receive those funds, and then talk a little bit about a couple options of how those financing structures will look. Is there anything else is there anything pertinent that you should share with me, or anything else I may need to discuss?
Well, last week when we looked at the 10-year, that's what we were leaning towards. Yes, and it was, do you want to do the fixed one or the bump down? I have to grab my paperwork.
Yeah.
Hold it, or you got it?
So there's two options, and I can kind of jump into those two right away.
There's the blender and the
And
level.
talk through those.
Mhm. Yeah, go ahead.
Level.
Yeah, we were thinking the level, but go ahead.
I did put, two options together, a 10-year level, and then another, what I will call a 10-year blend. And the level is basically you are making a new 10-year payment with 10 principal payments, and those payments are going to be essentially the same all the way through.
Oh,
I
that's the
will
label
have
wrong.
that first year payment just a little bit less, as you have one other debt being paid off in 2027. But basically just trying to level out that payment so that you're, I don't know what your valuations for 27 are going to be yet, but just kind of leveling out that payment. So basically until 2032, you'll have a higher levy rate of around 83 cents, and then it drops off for the remaining 4 years. The other option is to just kind of level that out based off of the debt that you have outstanding, so that you don't have as big of a bump in your levy rate starting next year. And that rounds out to about 74 cents.
And I think that's the one that we were looking to engage in,
No,
right?
we talked about this one, I thought.
Hold on.
They're labeled wrong on our paper, though.
Yeah,
Because we talked about this one and that.
yes, no, you're right. Yes, Kevin's right. We have the
10-year
blended
level.
one. Yeah, the one that starts at 83 cents and goes to 57. Yes.
Now, is that gonna change now, the drop in the rates?
So that's a really good question. So the Fed did lower interest rates by 0.25%. That is the federal funds rate, which is the short-term rate, is a very short-term rate. So we may see a slight dip in rates a lot of times, and we've already seen some of that rate has already been kind of, the market's already adjusted to that because they expected that rate cut. And within the last few days since that rate cut, from the municipal side, the rates have stayed approximately the same or gone down maybe 0.01 to 0.02%. So we may see a little bit of that interest rate, but we haven't seen anything, major adjustments or swings since the Fed has met. And in order to kind of lock in those interest rates, there are a few steps that the board needs to make in order to have the authority to borrow. Go into the bond market requires having an offering document. These interest rates are based off of your current outstanding ratings, so the county would have to have a rating call again as well. So, and you wouldn't really be able to lock in interest rates until, in the calendar I have is basically, we're looking at about pricing and locking in interest rates on January 30th. So that would be the date that we would lock those interest rates in, and until then you'd be subject to any market fluctuations.
Which should be good, I think.
I think it should. It's far enough, right now we're getting towards the end of the year. There's not a ton of market activity on the municipal side. It really kind of slows off after this week. And then in the first 2 weeks of the year, it starts building up. We start seeing that activity and really start seeing the functions of, what the Fed does.
So we'll have to change public hearing dates then, right?
Yes. Brandy, were you able to send that quick update I sent out or no?
No, I didn't get it before I had to come up.
Oh, okay, perfect. So you do have a calendar in front of you to kind of go through that process. With the holiday in there, there is time to continue on that same path. There's time to continue on that same path where we'll be, instead of setting the date right away, next week, we'll be setting the date on January 2nd and holding that hearing on January 16th.
That's been real. Okay. Sorry, we're just getting the calendars here now.
Yep. So you'll see it, and if you have those in front of you, I'll just talk through step by step kind of this process here. And I do have a few other things that are administratively in here, but if it is a board action, I have those highlighted. So in order to move forward with getting that authoritative process to borrow, the county has to set a date for a hearing and hold that hearing. That since it's an essential county purpose, it has a 4 and 20 day notice. And so I have that down to set that date on January 2nd. And then also then to hold that hearing at your January 16th meeting. I will have a not to exceed figure of that included in there. I will use the 6125. I do believe that you'll probably be below 6.1 in order to get all the bonds done. And we'll just need to confirm those numbers and get that all firmed up. The other thing I wanted to talk with the board is that your 2016 bonds, currently, even if we blended them with this bond issue, you wouldn't have any interest savings. It's still a negative savings. While you are doing this hearing process to gain the authority to borrow for this new project, we could include in the hearings to potentially refund the 2016A. If those interest rates, don't come into effect, you just kind of held that hearing, and we go ahead with just the regular bonding. If, 6 months down the road, rates plummet, you've held that hearing and you could do a refunding on its own, and you've already got a couple steps out of the way. Certainly the board doesn't have to do that. I just thought that since the county will be holding hearings, it's kind of recommended to just kind of go ahead with that and give you some flexibility to throw that refunding in there if it makes sense, and get that hearing out of the way if you ever want to do it down the road.
Okay,
So the calendar we have in front of us is wrong.
the printed one, yes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Just so everybody
And
else
we're
knows
just
that.
going to changing those hearing dates from on your original one that says December 19th, setting the date. And I have it closed. I had it probably the 2nd to hold it. I have just adjusted those dates to January 2nd and then January 16th.
Yep.
We'll be scheduling a rating call sometime the week of January 12th. That is not necessarily a board meeting. And it might be the week of the week after that as well. We'll be getting the documents together for that official statement and having that approved at the January 23rd meeting. And that's just the document that basically details out everything that's within the financing.
Can we,
And
can we set stuff up next week that we can do stuff like on the 16th? So we have issues with publications all the time.
Can we schedule or can we have the resolution setting the public hearing date next week? But we're
next week,
going to have the public hearing on the 16th of January. Can we do that?
so you want to do it on December 19th? You want to set the date?
Yeah,
Okay. Probably we can do that. This calendar does need to be run by Allers and Jason. So as long as he can accommodate that, we can do that.
Just publications is tough.
Do you have a couple newspapers or?
we have 3 that we have to publish in, and they're 2 are on the same day, 1 is a different day.
Okay. Right after this call, I'll reach out to Jason and I'll see the December 19th to the January 16th and confirm that that'll work for him. And I'll loop you in, Brandy, and we'll get it figured out.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anything else that you need from us?
No.
Okay.
At this point, I just wanted to kind of talk through that process. Once the board approves that official statement, it gives you kind of the clear to get into the bond market and keep rolling. So I don't know what you're looking at from a timing standpoint with the contract. Has the board signed any of that contract, or are they expecting any funds at a certain point?
Signed, but I haven't heard anybody asking for any funds yet.
So if they have that question, you can reference this, that we're looking at kind of closing on those bonds and having the proceeds available February 26th.
That should be fine. Well,
All right,
perfect.
and then just to clarify, is it the board's intention, does the board want to go with the level option?
I think they're labeled wrong on our paper.
No. That's that, no, because the
10-year
first-
level is what,
10-year,
When I say level, that means level on the new issue.
so that's,
And then
that's-
blend is blended, it's a blended overall blend
Do you have a personal recommendation or?
It's really is, what the board wants to have for, do you want to have that higher levy on 83 cents or if you want to just have 74 cents for a full 10 years.
We were just we're concerned that if something came along later, we'd have room later on.
Yeah, you have, room in 2033 to start doing something new. But at the, but you also have your taxes go up higher. So it's, I personally don't have an opinion one way or the other, It's just, it's more of a board preference of, do you want to have a little bit higher tax rate to give you some more flexibility down the road? Or do you want to kind of level out that tax rate for 10 years?
I like the one that starts higher because it saves overall money too. So that's, yeah.
Either one's gonna be better than what we were handed with from the first one.
Yeah, for the future.
Yep.
Yeah. In theory, it's only 9 cents more for 5 years.
It'll be a task though, I think,
Yeah.
compared to the 74, you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Trying to balance for these 1, 2, 3, 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah. But it's $150,000 in savings, so.
Mhm.
I guess for today, I'm hearing that you kind of like that first page where it goes up to the 83 and down to the 57. The board doesn't necessarily have to sign off on that option yet today. But by that January 16th meeting, we'll want to confirm that that's the structure that you're wanting to use.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Heidi? Any more for us from Heidi? Do you have anything for us?
I don't.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great Friday.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Community and Family Resources?
So I didn't know if you'd look at the presentation on the screen, so I printed out a copy of it for each of you just to follow along. And then also we have these new county snapshots that for the data in the county, which I think would be helpful.
You want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah. So my name is Courtney Hart. I'm one of the prevention specialists at Community and Family Resources. And basically Iowa HHS has a new behavioral health system that they just wanted us to all go around the counties that we serve to talk about and explain the changes and stuff. So it started this summer in July 2025, and so. So it's a pretty brief presentation, but again, just to kind of educate you guys on the changes in the county and stuff. So the purpose of the presentation was to provide an overview of that new realignment and identify changes to substance misuse and problem gambling prevention services. And then at the end, we'll discuss the future state of Iowa's prevention service system. So we'll start with that overall new alignment. And so just wanted to get a common understanding of what behavioral health is. And so behavioral health means that it's mental health, addictive disorders, and then also life stressors and life crises. It's important to note that behavioral health disorders are common and treatable. And so then behavioral health care refers to a full spectrum of prevention, which is what we do, and then also early intervention, treatment, recovery support, and crisis care. So again, with these new changes, so in May of 2024, there was a new law that was signed, which went into effect of July of this year. And this law combines mental health, substance use, and problem gambling services all into one system, which is now called the Behavioral Health Service System. So previously it was mental health and stability services separate from problem gambling and other substance use. So now they're all combined. So these consolidated Iowa's 13 regions into 7 districts to improve the outcomes of Iowa by aligning all these services into one place, making it easier for both providers and individuals. And if you have any questions, feel free to stop me along the way. So this also established a new system navigation to ensure that all Iowans have access to behavioral health services. And the Iowa Primary Care Association takes care of most of this. So they serve in a statewide capacity as the Administrative Service Organization, or ASO, for the state's newly redesigned behavioral health system. So now with these new changes, there is no wrong door to accessing mental health, substance use, or problem gambling services. It's all in one place by contacting HHS or the Iowa Primary Care Association. With this new system, there's new system navigation. So with Your Life Iowa, this is a brief intervention that helps individuals and families understand the behavioral health service system and to provide information, education, referrals, and support. So this can help Iowans in coordinating key transitions for things like crisis services or jail-based intervention behavioral services. And so specifically it can help educate them on available services and options. It can help them schedule appointments, connect to other support groups and other resources, and then also address barriers or challenges that could come up. So with these new districts that they have established, they have district advisory councils for each of those 7 districts. And so this district advisory council addresses challenges, and they help advise the administrative service organization. And so there are 10 people who serve on this advisory council for each district. 3 of those members should be local elected public officials that are currently holding office in the district. 3 of them should be members with lived behavioral health experience or through either directly or firsthand experience. And then 1 of those 3 should be people who represent either child or adolescents. The next 3 should be people who have experience in education or helping with services related to behavioral health functions or behavioral health prevention or treatment or community-based behavioral health services. And then that last 10th member should be a law enforcement representative that works in the district. So the responsibilities of these behavioral health or these district advisory councils is to identify opportunities and address challenges based on updates that are received from the ASO regarding the implementation of district behavioral health plan. They can also advise the ASO while they're developing their behavioral health policies and advise the ASO on how best to provide those behavioral health services, including prevention, education, intervention, treatment, recovery support, and crisis services related to all mental health and addictive disorders, things like alcohol use, substance use, tobacco use, and problem gambling. And so if you're interested in learning more about those district advisory councils, you can go to this website on there at Iowa PCA District Advisory Councils. And even if you're not on the council, you can still attend the meetings to still stay involved and kind of learn about what's happening. And so the next picture just shows how those districts were established. You can see that Iowa County is in District 6. And so each district has this advisory council to ensure that strong local connections are maintained. And it's kind of important to know how this map was created. So it was a very data-driven approach with extensive community engagement. So there were over 1,000 providers, advocates, and people with lived experience participating in the process. And these districts were designed to ensure equitable resource distribution, to minimize service disruption, enhance access to quality care, and address the specific needs of each population. So the next thing I gave you was those county snapshots. So HHS came out with new county snapshots at the beginning of 2025 with data with things like access to care, mental health, addictive disorders, socioeconomic factors, and then health behaviors. So it kind of shows how the county compares to the rest of the state. And if you're interested in finding more of them or finding more counties, they're all available on the HHS website if you just go to the county snapshots. So the next thing we'll talk about is the future state of prevention. So at this point, we have a little bit of opportunity just for a discussion if you guys have time. So I'll begin with talking about like what we do in Iowa County with our organization, and then you can kind of be thinking about what behavioral health issues you may be seeing in your community and any prevention services that could benefit this community. So we're involved in the local coalitions here, working with brain health and substance use, just to kind of educate them on what we do and just stay involved in the community. We also do a program called Life Skills with 6th graders at the schools across the county. And this is a 15-session like curriculum that talks about all things related to substance use. So talks about like tobacco, smoking, alcohol, how to abstain from all of those things. And then also important like decision making and how to cope with anger or anxiety to be able to stay away from those harmful substances. And then we also do focus on problem gambling, and that's mostly with workplace policy. We're kind of new in this sector, but we've reached out to bars and restaurants in Iowa County, just seeing if any of them would be interested in implementing like problem gambling into their workplace policies they already have. Kind of educate them why it's so important, especially with like the new sports betting stuff coming up. So just maybe helping them to like block those types of websites or give them the appropriate resources to get the help that their employees need it. So anybody have any like ideas and opinions about any behavioral health issues in the county? Or
Do you do any programs like on social media for teenagers?
it is
That
part
seems
of
like a huge problem right there.
Yeah, it is part of that thing we do with the 6th graders. So there's one specific lesson on like violence in the media specifically that talks about that. And then with all of like the vaping lessons and stuff like that, specifically, it talks about like not all of like your friends are doing it and stuff. Like it's not going to make you like more popular or like more people like want to be around you. So things like that.
So do you get, I don't know how much you can ask this, do you have numbers or data from residents in the county of how many services are utilized?
You mean like overall?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there should be some on the HHS website. I don't have that readily available today, but I could definitely like look it up and see. Yeah, if we don't, we can kind of just move on.
You haven't really have anything too wild, any ideas or anything?
Well,
Yeah, it's just kind of
that's why I was
interesting.
interested, like what services are utilized in the county?
Yeah,
Well, this right here, isn't that?
This is stats, but not services, I think.
Oh, I got you.
yeah, we can look it up. I know they do have some about like the tobacco quit line services on the HHS website, but I'm not sure if they have the public stats available for the other stuff.
This is 63 Iowa County residents receive substance use treatment. That's 5.4.
Yeah. All right, so I have a little bit left for the future state of prevention services in Iowa. So in July of 2026, HHS will have a broader array of prevention services. I'm not exactly sure what that will entail yet, but right now they're going to begin with the assessment process, trying to figure out the main problems that there are and how they can address those. And then kind of going backwards just to do a little overview of what prevention is. And so our prevention service is really focused on going upriver to figure out what the risk factors and things that are actually causing the problems are. And so finding out what's causing those behavioral health needs. And so prevention really means just working to reduce those risks and build protections against preventable health conditions. So specifically for substance use and gambling, we work to discover what's causing people to misuse the substances or engage in those high-risk gambling activities, and then trying to figure out what things we can put in place to stop that for the entire population. This next slide just shows kind of what guides prevention programs and the implementation of them. So The first thing is assessments for each population, figuring out what the problem is. And then the next one is capacity building, building local resources and readiness, making people interested so that they want to be involved. The next things are obviously planning and implementation, so actually putting it out there. And then at the end, you need evaluation to see what went well and what things need to change in the future. And these are all based around the guiding principles of sustainability. So you want to make the program last as long as it can to help as many people. And then obviously you need cultural competence to make sure that it's inclusive and culturally appropriate for each population. And so if you're not involved already, which I'm sure you are, there are a couple ideas to just get more involved and contribute. So participating in behavioral health town hall meetings, join a local prevention coalition. So just getting more voices into those types of groups, sharing data, engaging new partners, attend events, volunteer, and then be part of that assessment process for the new prevention programs. So that's really the end. These couple last slides are just resources. So again, Iowa HHS, they have information about the system alignment and then also all the services they provide. And then again, the Iowa Primary Care Association is that administrative service organization. So they're the ones who, when you call HHS, they will refer you to Iowa PCA, and then they're the ones who will help you get those services and resources. This QR code is just optional if you have time later to see what you learned from this brief presentation about the new realignment. So you could just scan the QR code and it gives you that. And then if you guys have any questions, I'm free to answer them. And this last slide has my contact information. Just Courtney LH at CFR helps that way.
Any questions for Courtney?
No. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just gonna put it out there. So we're trying to find as many groups that we can to present this to, because they want us to reach at least 10 groups in the county, which is kind of a lot. So if you know anybody else who might be interested, we're also thinking about doing the Board of Health. If anybody has contacts to that, that'd be great. So
That would be me.
Okay.
Yeah, I can email you the contact information for our public health director. So-
perfect. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, no more questions.
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Do we have anything for next week's agenda as of now?
Trying to find the snapshot, but I'm sure it's about that.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned.